and we don't carry swords. We carry cutlasses. Best car that GM ever made. Color Guard's been in existence for about 3 years, and we're still crawling, but we're going to run one day. We have a brigade in Memphis doing the western section of the state. We have a camp as the base for the central section of the state, and we have ours. Commander asked me to give you a short description of our flags. I see that the most important flag is hanging, the naval jack. Most people won't confuse it with the Army of Tennessee flag or the Army of Northern Virginia flag, but actually it's the naval jack. Everybody knows what this one is. Everybody goes to school, pledges their allegiance to it every day. Don't need to explain that. First national flag. Lots of variations, believe it or not. This is the 7-star. The stars go anywhere from 7 to 14, sometimes 15, depending on the regiment and the territories that have joined. We chose the 7-star because this is the flag that was the first one. People like to say it's stars and bars. It's the first national. It was made. Confederate Flag Day is March 4th, and after the Confederate Congress passed the bill and Jeff Davis signed it, they needed a flag real fast in a hurry. And no joke, they were finishing up sewing this flag as they were taking it to the State House to raise it up on the flagpole. Again, my naval jack. A naval jack is the flag that is flown from the front of the ship when it's in port. The original Confederate naval jack is a blue field, blue canton with 7 stars in a circle. And in 1863, they changed it to the rectangle with the St. Andrew's cross. It's also the flag of the Army of Tennessee. The Army of Northern Virginia is a square instead of a rectangle. The second national flag, also known as the stainless banner. The first official place that you saw this during the war was on the casket of Stonewall Jackson when they took his body down the river on the barge, just draped his coffin. It's also known as the last flag down. The war ended in April, May, June, depending on where you were in the South. This flag was flying on the CSS Shenandoah when they got word in the Pacific that the South had fallen. So Captain Waddell of the Shenandoah lowered the flag so he would not be caught by the Yankees, because he knew in his heart if the Yankees saw this flag, all of them would be hung as pirates. So, miraculously, from the middle of the Pacific Ocean, he sailed into Liverpool, England, and surrendered to the British Navy, and this was the last flag down. The current national flag, sometimes confused as the third national flag. It is the current national flag. This was issued in February, March 1865. The only difference between this flag and the stainless banner is the red bar. And the reason so is because when there's no wind blowing, it looked like a truce flag. And so everybody, and that was the biggest problem. Everybody thought this was a flag of truce. So to eliminate that problem, that's all they did. And again, Congress just had a tough time deciding on what to do. And then they can't understand why we lost the war. They're always bickering. Bonnie blue. Some historians, and I tend to believe with them, is the first succession flag. This is, was a flag of succession long before the war between the states. In Florida, in the 1820s, they had a little disagreement between the east and west in Florida. So where Pensacola is up in that area, they wanted their own little country, and they came up with a succession flag. And the idea stuck with a single star. Our first succession flag in South Carolina was the white star on a red background. So and then we got the song "The Bonnie Blue Flag" by Minstrel. And so that's what this is, the Bonnie Blue Flag. It's got a lot, the history is longer than just the beginning of the war. This is the division flag of the Tennessee Division, Sons of Confederate Veterans. And it takes the shape of the naval jack and the state flag and combines it. State flag with 3 stars in the center. The state flag, which we have now, which is the red, is not the original state flag. When the Confederate Congress, excuse me, the Confederate General Assembly of Tennessee met in 1861, they came up with a state flag. It was first national, the red and white bars, but in the blue canton, it had the state seal, what we have now, the plow, the wheat, whatever, what's in the state seal now. That was the state flag of the Confederacy during that time. Over time, people didn't like that, and went to the red flag, 3 stars, so Tennessee Division adopted this. And that's our flags.